Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Sabrina Daly.
And I am Isani Cayetano.
And good morning, Isani. How are you
Cool
handling
and chilly.
the chill?
So
oh my gosh.
I'm getting ahead of you the adjectives today, right? Cool and chilly. Only because, you know, the past 2 nights, man, you don't even want to get out of bed.
Did you sleep with fan last night?
Yes.
I did not.
It's a bad habit of mine.
I couldn't. It was way too chilly. I woke up this morning and when I walked out my front door, I had to check the temperature. It was 60 degrees.
Yeah.
When last have you ever experienced 60 degrees in Belize?
It's been a while, admittedly.
Yeah.
It's been quite a while since we've had this kind of undisturbed cold front. I say undisturbed simply because the rains came before the cold front this time around, and I'm glad that it happened that way. At least I get to enjoy a change of temperature.
Yeah, no, totally. I think we're all enjoying it. I got out this morning and I was on the road and I saw a lot of people all sweatered up. So I know that a lot of people are enjoying this type of temperature. For those who don't need the fan when it gets too chilly too, I know you'll appreciate the cheaper electrical bill too. At least for me.
When you're creatures of habit, you have to hear the droning of the fan to fall asleep.
For the white noise?
Right, yes. So even if it's 60, you still need to hear that humming, that constant humming for you to, you know, doze off.
Well, you know what? I think I speak for everyone when I say we're all hoping that it lasts a little while longer.
Yeah.
We're enjoying the cooler temperatures for more reasons than one. We get to enjoy not sweating when we're walking out during the day. And also, for those who don't require that white noise, you get to save on that electrical bill. But moving into our What's Buzzing topic, there are several things that we can discuss this morning. I want to start on the international scene, Isani. Simply because last night I was watching international news and I saw that there has been a breakthrough in science, so to speak. I guess I'll say that this morning. Elon Musk, we know him. We know him for X, we know him for Tesla, and many other technological advancements.
SpaceX,
Starlink. Yeah, SpaceX. But as of yesterday, in the news on the international scene, we were able to see that Elon Musk said on X that the first human has received an implant from his company, Neuralink. Now, if you're wondering what Neuralink represents, it's an update in technology that allows persons with motor skills, lacking in motor skills, to essentially use a chip that's implanted in their brain to carry out those instructions that their brain would want to do, but their body is not able to do. So Neuralink would be perfect for persons that maybe has a stroke and is not able to speak. It's an amazing story. I watched it last night, Asani, and I just wanted to know, what's your thought on Neuralink?
Well, let's go back to the test phase, right? The video that we're watching just showed that it was the tests were initially conducted on monkeys and pigs to see how this particular chip implanted in them helps them with their motor functions or motor skills. In one aspect of the video, you're seeing the monkey or the chimp playing a video game.
Yeah.
The other one shows the pig moving his legs based on certain sensory sensations, I would call it as such, right? But to what you're saying, what is of particular interest to me when I'm watching this news piece and what is being shared is the fact that the woman who's sitting next to her husband or her partner, where she's smiling, but her brain and this particular chip is saying something to the husband, something that's fairly funny, but it reads her mind and it's able to sort of articulate what she's thinking, you know. What is equally interesting about this, Sab, is the fact that beyond its ability to sort of allow you to be able to move if you're paralyzed, it also would in the future allow you to be able to connect with a device. Your Android device, I think it showed an Android device as well. Now, it's a bit scary.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, as it stands, my device is like an extension of my human body, right? My arm. But do I really want to be able to tap into my device mentally?
Yeah.
That's another thing, right? But I enjoy breakthroughs in science, science research and technological advancements and what have you. But there's always this question, right? How far is too far?
Yeah.
And that's where the moralists come into the scene, because while this is perhaps lauded by the scientific community, you'll have other people who are, you know, questioning, you know, is this going too far? It's sort of like when way back there was the race to the moon, and while some people championed the cause that we're exploring, you know, something other than Earth, other people were saying, well, do we really need to be in outer space to see what's out there? But well, yes, it's a similar conversation.
Well, I mean, I think there are two ways to look at it. Of course, we have to be cautious when it comes to science in general. But I think scientists, they would say that science is here to help us solve problems, to help to find a solution for issues, right? And I love that you were talking about the fear behind it, because when I watched the interview online, I saw some of the comments and people were saying, and so it begins, you know, technology taking over the world. So there are two ways to look at it. But I think in this case, this is something that we should be excited about, simply because it is helping persons that would otherwise not be able to speak. This is, I think this is still in the testing phase. As I mentioned, this was the first implant that took place. So we are still going to be looking for some updates on how that works out. But until then, I think we are all happy to say that there is a step in the right direction to help persons that aren't able to speak because of whatever sickness. But moving into other topics that are trending, I know last night we were all excited to find out that the Hova Bridge may just be open tomorrow. I was so excited last week, Isani, to cross the bridge last week, Thursday. And I was telling my family members last night, this is exactly that saying that goes, you know, cross the bridge before it's built. We can finally hopefully say that we'll be able to cross the bridge tomorrow.
Well, this has been long in the making.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, this has been in the offing since the previous administration. And when the People's United Party took over in November 2020, they have made every effort to see it to fruition. And while some would say it's a bit behind schedule, I'm understanding now that it will be formally inaugurated somewhere in mid-March.
Yes.
But for the time being, there will be a detour. Yeah, there will be a soft launch tomorrow, but there will be a detour from that portion of the Philip Golson Highway to allow for other infrastructure works to take place, linking the bridge back to the highway proper. And so we will be sort of, you know, taking a right as opposed to taking a left as of tomorrow. But the bridge is there. It replaces now the old Hova Bridge.
Yeah.
And my question has always been, what's to become of that old structure that has been there, that has been such a staple entering Belize City from the north?
That'll be part of history now.
Yeah.
It'll be part of history. It makes me remember the bridge in Boral Boom. We still have it's crazy that we still have a part of the structure of the old bridge that is there. So I don't know in this case, do they take it down or is it left there and persons just can't cross? I think we'd be all interested to know what happens after that. But we'll miss the old one, not so much. We're excited to try out that new thing, you know? But also, speaking of new thing, Isani, we've been talking in the newscast this week about the official arrival of our first electrical bus. And we spoke about it yesterday, and there are still some questions that we're asking. You know, when is the run officially going to begin? How much is it going to cost? Is it going to be cheaper because we're not using fuel? Have you gotten an update on that?
Well, that's not necessarily where I was going to go, but I'll get around to answering that question. It's simply to say that we are looking at the advent of going with renewable energy sources, right? And so the fact that we have our first EV bus in country, and there's a picture where they show the bus charging, I think that for me is what I'm looking at, considering the work that has been done by Belize Electricity Limited, by the Ministry of Public Utilities, Energy and Logistics, in terms of being able to usher in this new means of transportation. What we've been used to is what we call the ICE, the internal combustible engine that runs on fossil fuel. But we're trying to move away from that. We're saying, look, let's use alternative sources. But the conversation has to be around what incentives there are for us to be able to transition from one to another. So while this is a step in the right direction, for us who may not be commuters but want to be able to buy a Tesla, for instance, right? We need to be able to, in a sense, be incentivized. We need to be able to say, well, okay, when I purchase this vehicle abroad and import it into Belize City or into Belize, what do I get? It's the same as if we're saying, okay, you want me to go renewable by using solar energy, for instance. Okay, so I buy the panels and the batteries, but what incentive do I get for moving in that direction? So I'm looking at it from that perspective. Now, to your question, where you were asking if there's any solid information on when there's going to be a launch of these buses or what have you, I'm not certain, but I wouldn't be surprised, since we're in election season, that it comes right before March 6th, right? I wouldn't be surprised at all. A lot of things are taking place right now in terms of infrastructure works, in terms of all of these other projects that are, in my opinion, perfectly timed for the season.
Including the soft launch of our bridge. But I know, as you mentioned, we are all looking forward to the official, I guess, start of this run. Aside from that, though, I love that you brought up the conversation about us transitioning into renewable energy. We have spoken about this before with the respective ministry. So it would be interesting to see how we continue that conversation to incentivize persons to switch to cleaner energy. We do know that that is, while it is an investment, it's quite an expensive one. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops further. But moving into our last What's Buzzing conversation, and this is certainly buzzing online, both internationally and locally. If you are a music lover, particularly a hip-hop lover, you would know that there's currently quite a squabble taking place online between two well-known female rappers. Now, Asani, because you are the music lover in this one, I'll allow you to take the lead.
Well, I'll start here, right? Because we know that hip-hop as an art form, as music, has been centered so much around rap battles and you know, this kind of beef, as we call it. When it's one of those situations where, look, you and I are best friends at times, and then we're our worst enemies at times, right?
Frenemies, we call them.
Frenemies, there we go. So there's been a point in time where Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion were fairly close, but they've always been taking pot shots at each other as well. And so over the weekend, Megan Thee Stallion released her song. It's called Hiss. It's filled with lines going directly after Nicki Minaj and her husband, right, Kenneth Petty, right? And I think one of the lines that stands out the most is the play on words with Megan and Megan's Law, right? And in the United States, Megan's Law has to do with sex offenders. And in this case, Nicki Minaj's husband is a convicted sex offender.
And her brother.
Yeah, and her brother. But this was more in line with the husband, right? And so fans of both artists were waiting to see what the response would have been from Nicki's corner. And for many of us who sat and waited for it, it's underwhelming. I mean...
Well, she responded fairly quickly.
But that doesn't mean that her responses were well thought out and landed with the kind of impact that it should have, right? It kind of reminds me, and I'm going back here in the back, but it kind of reminds me of the Jay-Z-Nas beef, where Nas dropped Ether and Jay-Z responded in short order with Super Ugly. Some people would say, well, they went in, but at the same time, others who would dissect everything lyric for lyric, bar for bar would say you would have needed more time to be able to come back with something more impactful. And so when you listen to other critics of both songs, both artists, they would say, well, his landed with a stiffer blow than Nicki's response. But Nicki has also promised that she would come back with 4 more diss songs. I don't know how that will materialize or shape out, but yes, that's what's currently buzzing online in music.
A lot of people are talking about it. I saw quite a few of those YouTube videos where persons react to the individual songs, and there's mixed reviews.
I mean, to go as far as talking about someone's dead mother is, to me, unnecessary. You know, if we're talking lyrics and we're talking about other stuff that, you know, one could say, well, that is funny, or I never thought of that about saying something about someone. It's totally different than when you go in the realm of someone's baby mama or someone's dead parent or dead sibling or what have you.
Especially the way that she brought up her mother. It was lying on your dead mama. That was definitely a hard pill. I think it was a little bit uncomfortable for a lot of the listeners that heard Nicki Minaj's songs. I know that there's a lot of people that love and stand behind Nicki Minaj. They call them themselves the Barbs. So I do not claim to be either of these super fans. So I'm simply just someone listening on the internet and saying, if you haven't seen it and you're interested in hip hop music, that's definitely one of the conversations taking place right now. But that about does it for our What's Buzzing conversation. Moving now into our eye opener. Isani, why don't you take it away this morning?
It goes like this. Life becomes much more interesting once we let go of our quest for perfection and aspire for imperfection instead. It is good to remember that one of our goals in life is not to be perfect. We often lose track of this aspiration. When we make mistakes, we think that we are falling or not measuring up. But if life is about experimenting, experiencing, and learning, then to be imperfect is a prerequisite. Life becomes much more interesting once we let go of our quest for perfection and aspire for imperfection instead. This doesn't mean that we don't strive to be our best. We simply accept that there is no such thing as perfection, especially in life. All living things are in a ceaseless state of movement. Your life changes more than it stays the same. Perfection may not happen in a moment, but it will not last because it is an impermanent state. Trying to hold on to perfection or forcing it to happen causes frustration and unhappiness. In spite of this, many of us are in the habit of trying to be perfect. Similarly, we can choose to experience the universe as a loving place where we are free to be imperfect. Once we realize this, we can begin to take ourselves less seriously and have more fun. Imperfection is inherent to being human. By embracing our imperfections, you embrace yourself.
What are your thoughts?
Perfect imperfections. What are my thoughts? Well, part of me strives for perfection. Part of me says, you know what? Do your best and be content that you've put your best foot forward, right? But there's always this constant struggle, right? Depending on the situation and depending on what I want to see as the outcome of that situation. And I can't help but say this, and I will admit, when it comes to my kids, I push them to perfection or towards perfection. But as a parent, I have to understand the very same virtue that I just shared with you about myself, right? To say that, look, you put your best foot forward and you're content that you've done everything that you can. And so, for instance, when I look at my daughter's academic performance, right? And the goals that she set for herself and the goals that I would want, you know, to set for her, and the fact that I have to accept the very same thing, that once she has done everything and I've seen it and I acknowledge the effort, that I too have to accept that. But it's a matter of not always going in that direction. You have to somewhat let go and allow certain things to take its course naturally. And so for me, that is the imperfection, so to speak. While we're all caught up in trying to be the best that we can be, if we sit back and get comfortable just a little bit, you would be able to enjoy life because you're able to accept the good and the bad, the perfect and the imperfect.
Yeah. You know, growing up, I was always told to not strive for perfection because that's impossible. Nothing is perfect, but you can get close, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, perfection does not mean that it is without error. It means that I did my best. I'm really happy that I grew up around persons that instilled that thinking in me. I will say that sometimes as adults, we do get in our own heads because we feel that we have to do everything right, especially if you're on TV. There's a different level of stress to be perfect there. But I'll also say that there's a sense of freedom and excitement that comes with just being free and being yourself, because people also want authenticity as well. And we can tell the difference between being authentic and being perfect. So for me, I try my best to meet it in the middle. Of course, I don't want to be too relaxed where it seems like I'm not trying, but also I want to put my best foot forward, as you mentioned, and do my best. And my best is perfection. To me, at least.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Moving now into our weather update, and it's quite a chilly one. So if you are not outside as yet, you might want to grab a sweater with you. We're going to be getting our weather update and forecast from the National Meteorological Service, hopefully telling us that the cooler temperatures will progress for a few more days, hopefully. Yeah. In times like this, Isani, let me know, do you shower in the morning?
Of course.
All right, just making you know, because I see people posting online.
I shower with cold water. It's the best way to get
I love that you said that, because
I'm not a warm water kind of guy, man.
All right, we'll have this conversation after. But we have here with us forecaster Tariq Matthews on the line, giving us the weather update. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Sabrina and Insani.
Good morning, brother.
What can we expect as relates to the general situation this morning?
Okay, for the general situation, fair, cool, and mostly dry conditions will prevail.
All right, and does that extend through to the 24-hour forecast?
Okay, for the 24-hour forecast, skies will be mostly sunny today and clear to partly cloudy tonight. No rainfall is expected.
All right, what's the temperatures looking like today? It's quite a chilly one.
Yeah, I know you guys will enjoy these temperatures, huh?
Yes, we are.
So for maximum temperatures for today, it will range from 79 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 82 inland, and 66 up in the hills. On our lows for tonight, it will be around 69 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 61 inland, and 55 up in the hills.
55, wow, now that's some chill. How's this looking for our extended outlook through to Thursday and Thursday night?
Okay, for Thursday and Thursday night is for mainly fair and cool weather conditions. Little or no rainfall is expected.
Alrighty. Well, thanks so much for the weather update. We appreciate it. And if you have any powers that you're able to keep it cool for the rest of the week, we'd appreciate that.
Okay, I got you guys.
All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you too.
On to what I was telling you, though, about the cold water. That's actually very healthy, because I too do that as well. For persons that are health nuts, they would call it cold plunges. It helps you to have a better mental state. It's good for your emotional state as well, and it's also good for your overall physical health too. So it's really daring taking on those cold showers early in the morning with temperatures like this. But push yourself. You're going to feel a lot better throughout the day. And I don't think that it's something that gets you sick. No, I don't think so. But I wanted to ask you that. Now, moving into our show lineup this morning, we have 3 great conversations to look forward to. Starting off in our first segment, we will be joined by a dermatologist, also known as Dr. Skin, who will be talking to us about skincare and tips for healthier skin.
Our second conversation this morning is all about the importance of wetlands. We will be joined by the Belize Fund for Sustainable Development, to talk to us about the importance of wetlands and everything else we need to know about this.
And in our third segment, if you have a Honda, this is one for you. We'll be having Benny's over to talk to us about how to love your Honda. All right. Well, we're going to take our first break this morning, and when we come back, it's all about skincare and tips for healthier skin. Stay with us.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
Are you dreaming of the ultimate home makeover? Introducing Design Depot's $25,000 Home Makeover 2024. It could be your home getting a complete transformation. Increase your chances of winning with every purchase made from now until January 31st, 2024. All while enjoying awesome deals happening store-wide. A complete transformation awaits you. Reimagined and redesigned using products from our top-of-the-line brands including Kohler, GE, Oran Windows and Doors, Sherwin-Williams Paint, and tiles from around the world. Don't just dream it, win it. Visit Design Depot today and enter to win the $25,000 Home Makeover 2024. Design Depot, all in one place.
1,067,700 slices of bacon are eaten by tourists each year, stimulating our local economy. Tourism means business.
After a rough week of school, Jake and his friends decide to treat themselves to frozen coffee. And since they don't have cash on them, they decide to use eCash. With eCash's geolocation feature, Jake can easily find the nearest coffee spot. With eCash's built-in option to split bills, Jake can pay the bill and his friends can reimburse their portion of the bill. Jake scans the merchant's code and confirms payment. Jake then views his transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made, then taps the split the bill button where he selects the evenly option to evenly split the bill. The application splits the bill automatically. His friends receive and accept the request. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash makes Jake enjoy his digital lifestyle.
Yo, time to put in the work, man. This is our year. Are you ready, Belize?
And welcome back. We have been joined in studio this morning by Dr. Jorge Lopez. He is a dermatologist who's here to talk to us all about skincare. Good morning, Dr. Lopez.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing wonderful.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. I remember the last time you were here, we had to really wrap it up because we were getting too excited just talking about skin.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into the conversation. I love when we're able to speak about this because oftentimes we overlook the effects of the negative effects of not taking care of your skin. We'd start by saying things like, you know, the skin is the largest organ in the body, and of course it's just as important as the other organs internally. So let's begin with that, the importance of taking care of the largest organ in your body.
Okay, well, as you mentioned, the skin is the largest organ, and it really, it's very simple to take care of your skin, right? You mostly have to keep it moisturized, and you also want to avoid anything harsh on it. And the problem is the trend, at least in the last years, I find it has been to use products on your skin that carry plenty of chemicals.
Yeah.
A lot of scented products, right? And that on its own, it's an aggressor for your skin, right? The other thing that it's many times not linked to taking care of your skin is what we eat, right? Unfortunately, our diet has a lot of highly processed carbs, like flour, for example.
Yeah.
And just to give you an example, when we do a lot of highly processed carbs, there's a process called glycation that takes place, and that pretty much breaks down your collagen, right? So it's a little bit contradictory. You know, you're buying the latest cream to build up your collagen, but the moment you're eating that donut or whatever it is, of course, you know, on a regular basis, then you're actually doing something to undo what you're trying to repair, right?
But what is collagen? Because, you know, a lot of people don't know what that is. I've seen on the shelves in certain stores, you can purchase collagen powder, I think also in tablet form. What is collagen?
Collagen to the skin, there are different types of collagen, first of all. And collagen to the skin, it kind of gives it the support, the structure, right? So it's very, very important. But now that you mentioned the collagen supplements, from our understanding, at least when it comes to hard data, there's really not enough evidence to say, okay, if I buy a supplement of collagen, you know, it's gonna show on my skin, right? It doesn't seem to work like that, and it kind of makes sense because when you take that supplement, that collagen will have to be broken down into peptides to be absorbed. So it's pretty much the same if I would say, okay, if I eat some veggies, some broccoli, for example, it's gonna pretty much give me the same building blocks, right? So unfortunately, there's a lot of marketing, right, and empty promises.
Talk to us about the importance of drinking adequate amounts of water to be able to cleanse your skin.
Okay, so drinking water is very, very important for the well functioning of our system overall. But when it comes to the skin, your skin wants to be nourished and nurtured directly.
Yeah.
Right? So really the best measure you can do is to use a moisturizer. So yes, water is very helpful overall for our system, but when it comes to your skin, it would not necessarily directly translate as, okay, I drank 4 liters of water, so my skin will be moisturized, right? So using a moisturizer is very, very important. But also, like I said, avoiding products that would irritate your skin. The design of the skin is so precise, and it's amazing, really. We have something that's called an acid mantle on our skin, which is like a layer of protection, right? And that is formed by the natural moisturizing factor and some other stuff. So the moment I am simply using a loofah or a rag whilst I shower, I'm removing that.
Yeah.
So I'm already leaving my skin, in a bad shape.
So to speak.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love my loofah.
I know. But,
So what would you say is the best method?
My life is a lie. You can't tell Caribbean people that, doctor.
I know. It's hard, but that's really not necessary. I mean, unless you are in a hobby or occupation where you really get dirt on you, right? But most of the time, if you have a job that doesn't require your skin, to get really dirty, it's not necessary. You would just, soap your skin with your hand, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That goes against everything that I've been doing all my life. Yeah.
I know. And there's another instance where my patients have had a little bit of resistance, and when they followed the advice, they're really surprised. Oily skin, right? A lot of my patients complain of oily skin. So they tell me, okay, what cleanser, what face wash can I use? And then I sometimes tell them, okay, for the next couple of weeks, you're not going to wash your face. Nothing. You're not going to use anything. No soap. So, obviously, their reaction is
you're gonna get dirt on your skin and your face and your head.
So, what happens is many times when we tend to overdo the washing of the face. And the skin is very particular in its thinking. So if I'm constantly applying something that is getting rid of my natural moisturizer, which is the oil, the skin response will be to increase the oil production. Yeah. So you kind of enter, into a loop or a vicious cycle.
It overcompensates for what it's lacking.
Yeah. So of course, this does not always apply to everyone, right? But sometimes we overdo it, and the very simple step of just giving a break to the skin.
Let's put that into a real life scenario, doc. I suffer from oily skin. I'm always shining, right?
Yeah.
So you're essentially telling me that for the next 3 weeks, I wouldn't have to wash my face or my scalp or anything and just let it be, and that will naturally on its own regress?
Okay. Scalp and face, I'm not really sure we could put them together in the same bag for the same recommendation, because the scalp produces way more oil normally, right? And then some shampoos would be helpful for that. But when it comes to your face, essentially, usually a couple of weeks without you using any soap. Water, you could splash water, that's perfectly fine. But any soap, then that tends to make it less oily, yes.
I want to take things back a bit, because I love where the conversation is going. You were able to pinpoint a particular skin type, and I think that is a conversation that has been on the rise when it comes to skincare, especially for commercializing skincare and skincare products. Let's talk about the different skin types, how to know what type of skin you have, and after that, we can touch into the commercial aspect of products. Are they necessary? Is there a one-size-fits-all when it comes to caring for your particular type of skin?
Okay. I would prefer if we keep it as simple as possible. So I would say you have people who suffers with oily skin. you have people who suffer with dry skin, and then you have the ones like
In between. That are blessed.
right? Yeah, so that's pretty much it, and you could know if you have oily skin, for example, very easily, right? If your skin is always shiny, if you have to carry a rag around, right? And that's another thing you want to avoid, right? Like
You're going against everything that we know and live to do that.
Yeah, I know. So those would be pretty much the skin types, right?
Okay, and caring for them, because as I mentioned, there's the rise in commercial products when it comes to caring for your skin. For instance, it's hard to not see products that are being advertised online for your nighttime skincare routine, your morning time skincare routine, and the products, it's expanding. What is your take on that when it comes to skincare products and skincare routines? Is there a one-size-fits-all, as I mentioned, that you can use for any skin type?
Okay, so yeah, technology has come a long distance, right? And there are very nice products and very aesthetically pleasing and everything. But I would say if we have to keep it to the minimum and to what actually works, I would say within your skin regimen or skincare routine, you want to have a sunscreen, preferably a mineral sunscreen, not the chemical type. So sunscreen is very, very important. Ideally, you want to reapply at least twice for a day. That's one. The other one would be a moisturizer. And the third one would be a cleanser. And there's a very important difference between a soap or a face wash, a regular face wash, and a cleanser. And the difference is the cleanser would do exactly the same job, but without really damaging that acid mantle we were talking about. So if you know you have sensitive skin, you should be using a cleanser, right? For your skin and overall, right?
Talk to us about dealing or treating with acne for teenagers who are going through puberty.
Okay. Alrighty. So acne is pretty much something we take for being something normal, right? Like 95% of us will go through it at some point. We have different type of acne. You have the non-inflammatory, as we call it, which is mostly when you have blackheads and whiteheads, right? And then you have the inflammatory type, in which you have the zits. So when it comes to acne, you the same thing. You don't want to overdo it with products. You want to start probably using something over the counter, maybe something that has benzoyl peroxide, which helps greatly with the pimples. You might want to use some vitamin A derivative like retinol, right? That tends to be very helpful. When it comes to the inflammatory acne, the zits ones, I always encourage patients to see their dermatologist, because a while back we thought that scars took a long time to happen. Now we know it can happen in a matter of weeks. So the longer you let that pimple sit there, the more likely you'll be left with a scar.
Really?
And then we have some procedures that help with scar, but the best thing is to prevent that scar in the first place, because at this point we don't have like an eraser, right? So it's very, very important with acne to start treatment as early as possible. Another problem that I see is that patients tend to pick on their pimples or blackheads, right? And that, unfortunately, some of the matter, right, as they call it, would come out, but some of it goes in deeper, and,
Yeah.
and you actually make the problem worse.
Yeah.
So that's another recommendation. Try not to be touching, your seeds, not manipulating them.
Yeah. I want to touch really quickly on the types of skincare issues that you often find patients coming to you with. I know that we already touched on the use of sunscreen, but do we see a lot of cases of skin cancer in Belize, especially since we are, a part of the Caribbean and we're more prone to hot weather?
Yes, skin cancer is, I would say, prevalent in Belize. And there's unfortunately the misconception that if we have darker skin tone or brown skin, it's unlikely we will have skin cancer, and that is completely
Because of
wrong.
the melanin?
Yeah. The melanin does give you protection, right? So if you have darker skin, that means you are a little bit more resistant. Your skin is a little bit more resistant to the UV radiation, but it's not really much of a difference, right? And the issue with skin cancer is that not all skin cancer is created equal, and some of the skin cancer, and for example, the most dangerous one, melanoma, that one, the link with UV radiation, it's not that clear cut, meaning that we could have melanoma on the bottom of your foot, for example.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not as easy as saying, oh, okay, my skin is dark, so I'm not gonna get skin cancer. It's not really like that. And statistics have shown that because of this belief, when a patient of darker skin seeks care, the skin cancer, it's already advanced. Precisely because you're not really thinking about it, right? In your mind, you have, no, I'm not gonna have skin cancer. As opposed to people with fair skin, they tend to seek help earlier, so the outcome is better. So skin cancer is very, very important, right? And one way of preventing is definitely using sunscreen on a regular basis. Also protective garment, hats, long sleeves when you're gonna be out and stuff.
Yeah.
But we are from the tropics, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking our bodies naturally adjust to the climate and the amount of sunshine that we're getting or what have you. Explain to me the difference between persons who don't live in this part of the world, for instance, those who live in North America, and then they come to Belize to visit, or they come to the Caribbean on vacation, and there's that sort of like a reaction to not being used to the climate, and it affects your skin and what have you.
Well, with skin types, when it comes to the color of your skin, there's a classification we tend to use that gives you skin type 1 to 7, right? So skin type 1 is very, very fair skin.
Yeah.
And those would be people that sunburn really, really easy, right? So then the opposite would be a person with very dark skin.
Yeah.
And obviously they don't sunburn. But the fact that one person doesn't get sunburned does not mean that the damage through UV radiation did not happen.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a misconception.
Wow. You know what I think is also important for us to mention? The need of using sunscreen, even if you aren't outside directly under the sun. I've heard things like, as you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to put on sunscreen, even if you're in the house or if you're in the office. Is that true?
Okay. Well, it depends what really you're trying to treat, right? For example, with my patients that have melasma, which is a pigmentation on the skin, you do want to have sunscreen like pretty much the whole day, because that pigmentation, yes, it's made worse by sunlight, but also by visible light. So this type of light, your cell phone, computer screen, so you do require that protection throughout the day, right? Or people that have rosacea, for example, that tend to be that tend to have very sensitive skin. But for the rest of us that wouldn't have any of those issues, it's I would say the advice is to use sunscreen early in the morning and then to reapply maybe around midday.
Do you care for your skin differently depending on your age? And I ask this because a lot of times when you're young, you think, you know what, I have time. I could wait until I'm 30 to start using those vitamin C's on my skin. And then, of course, older persons, at least in the Caribbean, you see with what they call age spots, and that's, I guess, that discoloration on your skin. Do you care for your skin differently depending on your age?
Well, if you know that you really want your skin to be at its best, the earlier you start, the better, right? But pretty much what happens as a normal process of growing older is that your skin tends to get drier, right? And as soon as you hit 25 years of age, the production of collagen in your skin starts to decline.
Yikes.
So you do want to start early, right? Just to give you an idea, when it comes to sunscreen and the importance of avoiding sun damage in terms of skin health, if I have 10 wrinkles on my face, right? Studies have proven that 8 are due to the sun damage and only 2 due to my age. So that's how important it is. And it's important because sun damage creates skin aging. But sun damage, if important enough, will actually lead to skin cancer. So that's the importance of avoiding sun damage as much
Would
as
that
possible.
be an example of sun damage and age?
Yes, the pigmentation, what people call age spots, tends to be related to chronic sun exposure.
And how do you reverse that?
Is it reversible?
Okay.
I've seen people reverse it.
Sunscreen is one of the things. The other thing would be probably some retinoid medication. We have some procedures for that, right? But I would say sunscreen would be again the pillar when it comes to preventing, because and here's the other important thing. Say I've had skin cancer. I've had skin cancer, right? So it's not a matter of saying, oh, well, you know, I had skin cancer, so there's nothing I can do. It's never too late to protect your skin, because skin cancer is, sun damage is cumulative. So every minute you're outdoors, it's like a little drop. So if you start using sunscreen, even if that bucket is at the brim of being filled or spilling, if you start using sunscreen, you're going to stop that process, right? So it's always important, and it's never too late to start using sunscreen.
What I'm hearing is that for skincare, sunscreen is the most important process. Sunscreen.
Yes. In terms of, if you want to keep your skin looking young, and in terms of preventing skin cancer, definitely. That, a moisturizer, and if you're probably over 35, 40 years of age, a vitamin A derivative cream, that would be the ideal skincare regimen.
But there are different types of sunscreens with different SPFs and whatnot. Help us understand how to choose the perfect sunscreen for you.
Okay, when it comes to sunscreens, we have two types mostly. You have the chemical ones and you have the mineral ones. With the chemical ones, you apply them on your skin. They have to sit for about 30 minutes before they actually protect you. And when the UV radiation hits your skin, through a chemical reaction, they convert that UV radiation into heat. And that happens right inside of your skin, right? So chemical sunscreens, I really don't like, and I don't recommend it for my patients. I do prefer the mineral ones. Mineral ones are one that has zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, for example. And the way those work is you apply them, and immediately after they create like a screen. So when the UV radiation hits your skin, it just deflects it. So there's no interaction with your skin cells, nothing. And it's very, very, it would be very rare for zinc oxide or titanium dioxide to irritate your skin. And that's another point. No matter how expensive the sunscreen is, if the moment you apply it on your skin, it stings, it burns, that's not the right one for you, right? A sunscreen should feel literally like if you're using a moisturizer, right? That's another tip to know if you're using the right sunscreen. When it comes to the numbers, again, there's quite a bit of marketing here, because to have an idea, to give you an idea, an SPF 30 would give you about 94.7 protection, supposedly, and then an SPF 80, maybe it would reach to 96. So it's like a 2% protection, but then when you look at the price, it's like 2 or 3-fold, right? So that's why, at least in the US, they have campaigned to keep the numbers, you know, the highest would be 50 plus, right? Because some sunscreens claim, you know, they write 100. So it gives you the false idea that, okay, you know, you're free to be out in the sun and you're protected, and that's completely wrong. So you want a sunscreen that has 30, the minimum, I would say between 30 and 50 would be ideal, and that it's a mineral one, meaning it has zinc oxide or titanium dioxide.
Is the difference between the mineral and the chemical, does it have to do with that cast that is sometimes on your skin? There's like a white cast. That's one of my biggest, I guess, pet peeves about sunscreen. When I used to use sunscreen as a kid, I didn't like that white cast that would be on your face or your entire body if you use it on your entire body. Can you describe what that is?
Yeah, probably. I think you might be really talking about zinc oxide, but technology, with nanotechnology nowadays, those particles have become so small that you don't get to have that
like
white.
It gets in your pores, like it.
Yes, and there are several mineral sunscreens that now come in a powder form. So forget about the oiliness, forget about the shining, and it's super easy to apply, right? So, yeah.
My last point that I want to bring up is for persons that say, I don't like to put lotion on or moisturize because it makes me sweat. We're in Belize and it's hot. Well, at least right now it's chilly, but it's generally hot. So I don't like to be sticky and sweaty, so I don't use lotion. What's your argument for that?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, right? But still, you want to moisturize your skin at least, I would say, once a day. But what you can do is take a shower at night, and within the 3 minutes of you coming out of that shower, with your skin still damp, you slather the moisturizer. And what that does is that the moisturizer will go in deeper into your skin, and it locks in the moisture, and you won't have that greasy feeling as much.
Really?
And then try to pick your moisturizer, because you have moisturizing creams, you have moisturizing lotions. So a lotion is lighter. So it's I would say more recommended for our type of weather.
Okay, a lotion. Okay.
Rather than a moisturizing cream.
Okay.
Right?
That's interesting. So you're saying that to avoid the oily, sweaty feeling with lotions or moisturizer, simply put it on when your skin is wet.
Yeah. Immediately after shower, and it should be at the most lukewarm. When you take hot showers, your skin gets dry.
Doctor, you are really going against everything that we know. Us females, we love hot water.
So I hear.
You know what? You're really advocating for the men in this one. But this has been such an insightful conversation. I know that a lot of people were able to gather something from it as it relates to caring for their skin. I think the overarching message here is to use your sunscreen and to moisturize your skin. That seems like the two most important tips when it comes to skincare and, of course, taking care of your skin. I'll ask you if you have any last words for our viewers as it relates to skincare.
Well, I would say mostly try to moisturize, use your sunscreen, and try to think when you are about to eat something, remember that what you eat actually will show through your skin. So if we tend to have a healthier diet, that will also show on our skin.
All right. Doc, thank you so much for stopping by. We hope to have you again with us soon.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, we take another break, and when we come back, it's all about the importance of wetlands to Belize. Stay with us.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
So what have they been doing for 3 years? Point to me one project that they have done in San Pedro.
Yeah, boy. Year 1, from DFC, San Pedrito, San Mateo, the upgrading of our streets, the filling of new materials and compacting.
Show me a road, a bridge, any project that the PUP has started and finished, or even just started.
Here I come. Here I come.
We started and completed a brand new bridge for our lovely people of La Isla Bonita.
Nice. Nothing. That's the problem.
Stop it. Get some help.
By year 2, we're already buying new trucks to make it easier for our sanitation workers.
We're starting by equipment and buying more equipment to upgrade the street for our people.
Paving it forward began in year 2 and it continues every day.
Because they've done nothing in the 3 years. They have done nothing.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
If we all don't come together and work together to change the bigger climate picture, these efforts will be in vain.
It's right there.
I believe that we have something special that is also a secret right now, which is unexplored, undiscovered.
I've been with the sugar fishermen all morning, catching lobster and conch, and then we realize it's time for lunch. And man, it's gonna be good. I think they deserve it.
Cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Welcome back. We are having our second conversation for the morning, and it's all about the importance of wetlands to Belize. We have here with us 2 representatives talking to us about that importance. Chelsea Gill Anthony is the communications officer with the Belize Fund for a Sustainable Future. Also with her is Victoria Chi, the wildlife officer for the Belize Forest Department, of course under the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management. Ladies, good morning and welcome all the way from Belmopan. Quite chilly over there, I imagine.
Yes, very much so.
All right, well, the conversation this morning is, as mentioned, the importance of wetlands to Belize. You ladies are here in your respective roles to talk to us about that. So let's get the conversation going with exactly what we mentioned. What is the importance of wetlands to Belize?
Well, if you allow me, I just want to provide some context of our organization. So I'm representing the Belize Fund, as mentioned, and we're a private conservation trust fund that was established under the Conservation Funding Agreement under the Blue Bond. And so we support both government and non-government partners by through funding and support for their work that focus on coastal and marine environments. And so we have 2 key programs, which is the government strategic allocation and the Grants Awards program. And so the Forest Department is one of those agencies that receive funding from us. And so we're happy that this day provided an opportunity where we could have collaborated on it. And so Wetlands, World Wetlands Day is being observed or celebrated on February 2nd under the theme Wetlands and Human Well-Being, because it's so important for sustaining our livelihoods and our well-being is the reason why we want to raise awareness about this day.
Without perhaps getting too technical, for the purpose of our viewers, would you be able to explain what are wetlands?
Yes. So wetlands is a unique ecosystem, and it's basically designed or factored with water. So it's flooded areas or areas saturated with water for most of the time. So here in Belize, we have several wetlands, and like we mentioned, wetlands can be inland, it can be coastal, it can be freshwater, it can be saltwater, it can be man-made, it can be natural, it can be stagnant, it can be flowing. So wetlands are basically just areas that are flooded with water. So that's in context what wetlands are. So you're right when we say it's important for this day, because we have two recognized Ramsar sites. And these Ramsar sites are Cookie Tree Wildlife Sanctuary and Starstone Tamash National Park. And Cookie Tree was the first one to be established in 1998. Starstone was then designated in 2005. And ever since we joined this convention, we've been highlighting the importance of wetlands. And so that is one of the main reasons why we're here.
Talk about Crooked Tree and the uniqueness of Crooked Tree being a wetland area.
So the uniqueness of Cookie Tree, like we all know, it's traditionally known for fishing. And so hence the reason it is considered a wildlife sanctuary. So under the category of a wildlife sanctuary, it would mean that you can do traditional methods like fishing, you can do sustainable hunting, you can do some extraction, but it has to be sustainably managed. And so some of the activities that are done, for example, in Cookie Tree are the traditional haul days. So fishermen are given 1 day that they can use their nets and they can go and basically haul fish and use to sell for their livelihoods. And so that is something that is traditionally done every year, and it's allowed within that context of the category of the sanctuary.
1 day for the year?
1 day for the year, but this is again to use their nets. Remember, nets are not allowed. So that's the only day that they're allowed to use their nets. And this holiday is done for all the licensed fisher folks that can go in. And again, this is done because at the end, if you know Cookie Tree, you know that it will get dry. And so in and using the resources and not allowing the fish just to die, they can go and haul their fish.
So if you, so on that 1 day, if you catch anything, or you catch everything, that's on you. If you don't catch anything, that's
on you as well. So it's really fun. We've been out there. The only thing that we restrict would be the hikiti. And so when they haul the hikiti, depending on the size, they put it back in. And all of these are rules that they know. And like I said, it's tradition for them. So every year, both the Fisheries Department, the Forest Department go out and monitor these activities. The Fisheries Department does record, for example, how many fish each fisherman pulls out, the weight, the pounds, the length, and so on. So it serves for some type of monitoring and research as well too.
So we got an example through Crooked Tree of the benefits of wetlands, and that would be considered more freshwater wetlands. I want to touch on an example of more sea-related wetlands. Is there an idea that these wetlands serve to benefit the mangroves or seagrass? Is that something that is also considered when we look at the importance of wetlands?
Sure, certainly. And when we think about wetlands, the whole campaign around wetlands right now is focused on 6 different areas. So we touch on livelihoods. There's also water, providing the fresh water. There's also food. There's culture, the biodiversity, helping us to mitigate against climate change. Those are some of the aspects. When it comes to, you mentioned mangroves, one of the areas or the threats to these ecosystems, it comes with agriculture, it comes with same climate change too as well, and even when we are developing and expanding, those are some of the areas where our human actions pose a threat to these ecosystems that really we would not be able to survive if they were to all go away, to deplete.
You said something really interesting there when you were talking about the 6 points. You mentioned culture. How does wetland tie in with culture?
Well, historically, because water is so critical to life, you have different groups, ethnic groups, even faiths, religious faiths, where they praise or celebrate water as this source of life. And so culturally, in the different aspects around the world, that's how it's embedded. You have songs and dances and stories, folklores that are centered around how much these are important to us, and that's how it factors into culture.
Oh, wow.
Let's go back a bit and talk about the Sarstoon-Tamash National Park. Since we've spoken about Crooked Tree and what makes it unique, Sarstoon-Tamash, I know that is southern Belize. It's near the border on the Sarstoon River. Well, the Sarstoon and the Tamash rivers, let me put it that way. What about that part of the country?
So on that part, like I mentioned, that was established or entered into Ramsar site in 2005. And one of the main reasons why it entered into Ramsar site is because of the sphagnum moss that is only found in Sarstoon-Tamash. So that's the only area in the entire country of Belize that has the sphagnum moss. And these are basically spongy little plants which form peat, and this stores carbon. And so that's one of the main reasons why the Sarstoon-Tamash National Park was designated as a Ramsar site. But like I mentioned, that those are not the only wetland areas that we have. We have a lot of wetlands area throughout the country. And so we have, for example, Hopkins Wetland Reserve, Nature Reserve. We have Agua Caliente Wildlife Sanctuary, which is also found in Toledo District. We have Gragua Lagoon National Park, which is found right in the middle of Dangriga. And so these are our other sites. But like I had mentioned, we have a lot of sites that are considered wetlands. It's basically how you determine a wetland or where do you want to put it. You had asked about the mangroves. Mangroves are also areas that are considered wetlands. And one of the reasons we're here too is that, for example, in April 2022, Belize completed its conservation milestone 2, and what that involved is that the government decided to designate all the other public lands that were not within reserves within the Barrier Reef, the Belize Barrier Reef Reserve System. And so that included the remaining areas of Bacalar Chico National Park and Marine Reserve, the Zapadilla Keys, and the Saltwater Keys. So all of these areas then became strict mangrove areas. And so one of the reasons we're here as well is that fine, we designated these within the system. There's still work to do. For example, we need to reach out to the communities about what that means. What are the regulations that come in place when it comes to that? It comes about creating awareness of the importance of these wetlands as well.
I know that there is a competition that is set to take place to hone in on the importance of wetlands to Belize. Let's talk a bit about that.
Okay, so we have 2 competitions that are running, and this is again with the support of the Sustainable Future Fund. And so one of the reasons we're doing it is to hone in on the importance. So one is a poster competition, and the poster competition is for all the coastal areas. We're sorry that we excluded Orange Walk and Cayo District, but we wanted to have these people appreciate their wetlands a little bit more. And so the poster competition is just basically for kids from 10 to 18 to send us pictures or posters where they zoom in and focus on the theme, humans and well-beings, and how that interlaces within their daily lives. Then we have a video competition, and that is again targeted for kids within the same districts, and that's from 11 to 18. And it goes under the theme that says every wetland has a story. What's yours? And so that is for them to give what is their story behind your wetlands.
That also touches on the cultural aspect
yes
too.
And so why it is important for them, because I can sit here and tell you why it's important for us and for everybody else, but we want to know why it's important to them as an individual or as a community, how these wetlands touch their lives, and that is what we want to get. And we're really excited to see what comes in, because we want to see what people feel and how they feel about these wetlands.
How do you guys get along with persons who use these wetlands for their livelihood? If we look at Crooked Tree, for instance, right, where we're saying that you have persons who fish, you have persons who hunt in that area, and that's their way of living. How do you interact with them in such a manner that they understand that they're not to over-exploit, if that were the case, the resources that exist within these wetlands?
Well, Isani, I don't think we have to go in depth with these community members. I believe that we've worked a lot with Cookie Tree, and the community members themselves know what are their limits. If you reach to that community, they will tell you, you know what? We know that our resources are depleting, and we believe that we need to put, for example, bag limits. We need to have size limits. They are conscious of these, and if you meet a lot of them, they also know that, and they can explain to you that back then they could harvest more than what they're harvesting now. And so they are conscious of these. They are aware of these. There are still some that don't believe. They feel that the resources are never ending and will never be depleted. But these are the persons that we sensitize. But we use community members to go out with us and explain it to them, because it comes easier from a community member than from anybody that comes from outside. And so they actually had a management plan developed. I think it expired last year. And their management plan is very extensive. They highlighted all the threats that they see, and they also came up with solutions and how they could mitigate some of these threats that they're facing. So again, this was developed with the community members, and so they are conscious of it.
Yes.
And also that's where we have to raise the importance of the role that conservation plays, because when you have these designated areas that are protected or have restricted activities, it provides the space and the time for that ecosystem or environment to heal and replenish, right? And so some people may see it as, oh, you're restricting what we can take, but really it's protecting that you have those resources in the future so that it's not all depleted.
Yes. So we're celebrating World Wetlands Day with sharing more information of the importance of wetlands to Belize. Of course, highlighting some of the ways that wetlands are a part of our lives through culture, through protecting our wildlife, of course, climate as well. Let's quickly wrap up and talk about other activities that maybe we can expect as we celebrate World Wetlands Day.
So, well, for this activity, it's just what we've been partnering with, but I'm sure that around the country you'll have different youth groups that are putting up activities. But in March, we do have some other activities coming up. We're coming up to our 2-year anniversary with the Belize Fund, and so we'll be having a live trivia where participants can tune in and get some prizes. There's also Reef Week.
Nice, yes.
Led by Oceana as well. And so we'll have some activities. We'll have a photo contest, a scavenger hunt style photo contest where people can be winning daily and the overall scavenger hunt prize. And then there's also World Water Day coming up in March as well. So there's a lot on the horizon that we want our public to tap in and to learn more about why conservation and these kind of activities are important for us.
All right, and Victoria, any last words?
Okay, so we have some activities planned specifically geared at wetlands. So we're partnering with the Belize Audubon Society. And so on Friday and Saturday, we will be in Cookie Tree. We will be doing activities there. We'll be doing some cleanup campaigns. We'll do some presentations, some interactive activities with both primary schools and high schools. Tomorrow as well, we will be in Dangriga. We will target the Ecumenical Junior College. We will do presentations, interactive activities. We are also taking them out of the classroom and taking them into the Guagua Lagoon so that they can see and visit the lagoon and see what wetlands that they have. We're also going to do similar activities with the Hopkins Village, Placencia Village, and we're also going to go deep into Toledo in Sunday Wood, and we're also again taking out the kids from the classroom and taking them into the national park so that they can see what resources they have there. Because trust me, I know a lot of kids have never been into those areas, and they're right in their backyard and they don't go. So those are some of the activities that we've planned out for this month. And along with Ms. Gill, we also have different dates in March that we will be celebrating. For example, on March 3rd is World Wildlife Day. It is also CITES Day. We also will be celebrating the 21st of March, which is the International Day of Forest. So we, again, too, will have a lot of activities that are coming up, and so for the public to just stay tuned and follow up with what we're doing in our Facebook page, because we will also have trivia competitions and different other competitions where they can win prizes and know a little bit more about the Forest Department and all the other activities that we deal with.
Wonderful. Ladies, thank you so much for stopping by. This was quite an informative segment. We appreciate it. And we hope that you guys get a lot of submissions for the two contests that is currently taking place.
Thank you.
Alrighty. All right, we take another break, and when we come back, it's all about Benny's, sharing how to love your Honda. Stay with us.
Hello friends, I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "For I have learned in whatsoever state I am therewith to be content." Someone early in my life said to me, "Experience is a good teacher, but it is a costly teacher." That is true, but that is the way most of us learn how to handle life situations. Paul had suffered much, but he said he had learned to be content. Many have misinterpreted this verse of Scripture. It does not mean that in the reverses of life we are simply to accept them and to be satisfied. It does not mean that when you are sick not to go to the doctor, or when you are hungry not to try and get food, or when you lose your job not to go and look for another one, or when your house burns down not to try and find another one. The word Paul uses here for contentment suggests to act independently or with self-sufficiency. What the Apostle Paul means is that we are not to be satisfied with the problems that we face in life, but we're not to be controlled by those problems. It means we're to act independently of them. As someone has said, if life serves you lemons, then make lemonade out of them. Paul realized that as a believer in Christ, we had an inner strength and power to rely upon. That is why he says later, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." With Christ, we do not have to be controlled by our problems, but we can take control of our problems. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize!
Hey there, smart thinkers! We're turbocharging your mobile experience
with Smart's powered-up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning-fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a Lone Ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced full high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't let this plan. I can't let this plan.
2,251,000 slices of watermelon are eaten by tourists each year in Belize, benefiting local farmers and processors directly. Tourism means business.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
And welcome back. Our third and final segment this morning is a conversation with our friends from Belize. They are here this morning to talk to us all about the Honda brand, and of course we're talking motorcycles as well as other tools and equipment that carry that brand. We are joined in studio by sales representative Shane Fairweather. Good morning.
Good morning.
And he's also joined by Leopoldo Rosado. He's the marketing representative over at Belize. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. How
Let's
are you guys
talk
this morning?
Honda. We're good.
It's chilly, but we're good.
Enjoying the weather. Yes, yes.
Definitely.
Let's get into the conversation and talk about Honda. It's a brand that is familiar to many of us, if not all Belizeans, right?
Correct.
And you guys carry the brand over at Belize as well.
That's right.
What are we looking at in terms of the range of products that fall under Honda, perhaps aside from the motorcycles for just now?
Okay, so for Honda, we don't only do motorcycles. We do what we call power equipment, such as stationary engines that can be used on mixers, even for go-karts. People have made go-karts with those as well. You can use them in some generators. You can use them for doing maybe a lift, anything that requires a stationary engine. They're fully gas-powered. So when you pull the cord one time, flawless start.
Good to go.
Exceptional power.
And we do also, with Honda, we have lawn equipment. So lawn mowers, weed eaters, to that sort.
Leaf blowers,
Also
even the hedge
too,
cutters.
The Honda Marine, which is a really big seller now. And we need to announce and
That's
let the
like for
Belizean
outboard
public,
engines and stuff?
correct, and let the Belizean public know that the Honda 350, 300 horsepower is now out and is available for pre-order at Benquip. So if you want to look for more power and reliability, take both Benquip and Belize and get your Honda 350.
And just for those who are thinking that a 350 would be a huge difference between a 250, it's not actually. It's going to have about 112 pounds more in weight. It's a V8 engine. It's very, very quiet, very excellent machine.
Correct.
Instant response when you travel.
What's the popularity behind the brand Honda? A lot of people know it for its reliability, the fact that it's something that will last long. But what is it with Honda that keeps people choosing it?
The work they put in, the research development, the careful, meticulous planning, the quality control, everything they do with it is very exceptional and unmatched by everybody. In fact, most of the things you see now actually have parts and similarities to Honda, such as other outboards, even other motorcycles. People would often tend to mix and match our parts because the parts for their ones don't last as long.
Correct. So Honda would be the gold standard when it comes to these motorsports and power equipment. So everybody they try copycat Honda, right? Yeah, and that's kind of how it is. And Honda throughout the motorsports and all the other ventures that they've been a part of, they're top of the class. They're leading in class with the Honda race team and all the different stuff. They have their motorcycles. They're in Formula 1 engines. So Honda's really big worldwide, and Belizeans are now appreciating the quality and the value they're getting when it comes to price. And now, since we talked about price, I mean, this year we are doing 24% off Honda products at Benquip.
Wow.
Yes. So if you always, why I really want a Honda, but the price kind of up there, we'll make it affordable for you and we'll work with you to get what you need.
And don't forget, for the entire month of February, we're doing 20% off parts for qualified purchases over $50.
Now, this is not something that is new from Benny's. For many years, you've been teaching us how to appreciate and love our Honda. If you don't have one, of course, you've been giving us an opportunity to get something that is Honda. Let's talk about particularly that. This year, what are we expecting from Benny's as it relates to some more of those Honda deals, and also that very popular bike kind of parade that takes place?
So for years we have been speaking with Blue Creek community. They've been asking us, when will you do a ride? When will you do a ride? Well, we're finally pulling the trigger this year and spreading the love to Blue Creek.
All right.
So February 3rd, which is this Saturday, we'll do the first bike rally at Blue Creek, sorry.
Yeah.
So if you're in the area or in Drock area, Blue Creek area, come out and enjoy. So far we've have about 200 sign-ups, so it should be big. Come get your free shirt. And Shane, if I'm not mistaken, we're doing a free oil change for everyone that shows up.
We're doing a free oil change for everyone out there.
Correct.
So as well, we'll be offering some refreshments for the ride.
Wow.
The ride is going to be very nice. It's very, very lovely and smooth roads in Blue Creek.
Why is it that this ride has lasted for so long? I think it's over a decade, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. What do you think it is about this this Honda ride that keeps people coming out every year?
We allow everyone to come out and be a part of the ride. And since last year, we have been even spreading the love to everyone. Anyone with a motorcycle can join the ride. It's not Honda specific, but the Honda riders are the one that gets the benefits of the free oil change, of course.
Okay. And I've noticed throughout the years, Honda riders and Honda users are very loyal to the brand. So when you're buying into the whole package. So you're buying into Honda engine day in a Formula 1 vehicle, or Honda engine day in an race bike as well. So that's the mentality you buy into. It's one big Honda family. So everybody that runs Honda is proud about their Honda, and they want to meet other people who have shared these similar experiences and come out and have a good time.
Well, I'll give you guys an opportunity to really market yourselves, to put your positions to work. I have here with us my colleague, and he has a motorcycle that is not branded Honda. What would you do to persuade him to make the switch?
First and foremost, I can offer you bar none efficiency. You will get about 20% more fuel savings just by switching. You may have to spend 10% more than what you're paying for the motorcycle initial purchase, but maintenance, fuel savings, and the longevity of the bike is going to add up within a year, guaranteed.
In terms, sorry, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. So more or less, what's the average range you get to your motorcycle when it comes to fuel?
Well, I'll tell you this, and this is why perhaps for me it's such a tough sell, right? It's a small bike. I don't use it for long distances outside of the city.
Correct.
Should have cutting around like a delivery man, but not as often as they do. So it's essentially work to home.
Correct.
With a full tank, I can do almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And a full tank is about $13 thereabout.
What?
So if you're talking fuel efficiency, for the purpose that I use the bike for, I mean, I really can't get better than that, right?
So how about 3 weeks with 1 full tank of gas.
Let's see that, but that's something that I would consider.
Because I would estimate you're doing maybe 110 miles run, round trip. We have a motorcycle that does 143
Correct.
miles round trip.
Correct.
On a full tank.
Nice. Yeah. And also a smaller bike and really comfortable and sporty. It's called the Honda Navi.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if you're interested, you know, 24% off all of February. And this deal not only go towards you now. It's the whole
everybody.
country. So
anybody that's interested.
So if you're interested, call in. Shane answer 24/7. He'll make sure you get the color and the specifications you need, right? But the fuel savings on the Honda Navi and all of our Honda products are impeccable.
Wow.
And one thing I really need to talk on too is with our Honda Marine outboard engines. A lot of our tour operators in Belize and people who run businesses but really rely on Honda realize fuel savings is one of the big better impacts or advantages with Honda. And two, say you're running a dive shop or a tourism-based business. So when the Honda engine burns its fuel and the oil and all the different combustion that comes out, it not come out with smoke and it not come out the smell bad. So you have people diving in the water and the fumes, you know, the snorkel, the up out of the water, and that what then they breathe in. Now with Honda, the emissions are very low and it burns clean. So it's
emission rating.
Correct. So then you have a cleaner atmosphere and also too, they're super quiet. Right? Other than the reliability. So if you try sneak up an sea turtle or the paddle whales or the dolphins, you can get there. Right? So that's a lot of things that people fail to realize with the brand is that they engineer it so much and refine it so much that a lot of these key details people forget about it. But man, it's quiet, reliable, and it burns. Its fuel and emissions are just impeccable.
And with the BF350, it's so much more quiet you wouldn't even know it's on. I was amazed when I rode it. I had to ride it 3 times. I even told them, listen, why not let me take one home? They said, no, we can't. I said, okay, here's what we'll do, right? Send everybody else home and I'll take it. No one else.
Do you find that a lot of locals, those who, as you've mentioned, are either in the tourism business or those who boat leisurely come to Belize for this particular brand of outboard?
We have a combination of both. So for leisure clients who use it maybe once a month, once every so often, they find that having a Honda is more reliable than having everything else. Simply for the fact that we pride ourselves in making sure we stock as much parts as possible to keep up with the clients. If we can't have it now, it takes about 48 weeks roughly to get them. So it's not something that you have to wait 5, 6, 7 months. Once it's available, we push and we get it. Also, we have technicians who are available to travel countrywide to assist you. There is a lot of work, of course, but we always try to get it done as quickly as possible. So if it takes us 2 days response time, we'll make sure we're there.
And throughout, like when the pandemic and everything was hitting, we had this inventory of Honda, and all the other retailers out there for different brands, supplies were diminishing, right? And then people were like, man, I really need this thing. Let me try it out. And you never look back from that point. They had this notion that, Honda now a leisure kind of, you know, it's fun, it's nice and a name brand, but it was never known for its reliability and its workhorse status, right? And now that people are getting into it, they realize like, whoa, this thing is a workhorse. Maintenance is a lot lower, and BenQuip does full service and maintenance with the Belize team and all of our technicians. Oil, parts, servicing, all that different stuff, we make sure that it gets done. We not just sell you something and
and then you're on your own.
Correct. You figure it out.
And again, I'm available anytime to answer any questions customers have.
That's what I was going to point out. Oftentimes when persons go about purchasing a piece of equipment or a vehicle, they oftentimes would try to choose a brand that they could get the parts easily and that it's at a cheaper rate. It's easier to maintain. So this is something that BenQuip offers, where you not only are able to get the tools or the machinery or the parts that you need, but you also install it?
Correct.
We give you the service. We can do installation as well. Installation, troubleshooting, guidance. We even do the full commissioning, make sure that it matches the standard Honda requires for warranty purposes.
Wow.
Correct.
And we do have our true warranty. It's not like warranty that's advertised by everyone else to say, oh, you have a year warranty, then they take 10, 11 months to get to you. By the time that's done, the warranty is up. No. We have a true 1-year warranty for commercial customers and 3-year warranty for non-commercial customers.
Great. So, and with that being said, and talking about servicing and parts, now we've realized that we've outgrown the space that we have been at BenQuip. And now to make it easily accessible and have a lot more inventory and parts and service, we are actually moving BenQuip to where the tire depot location was on the highway. So that's going to be BenQuip from now on moving forward. And we're going to have service bays. You could drive in, get your oil changed, get your fluids.
Motorcycles can be taken care of right there. We'll do full pre-delivery inspections, even troubleshooting repairs of the motorcycles there.
Wonderful. So it's now officially there.
Well, we're on the process moving there, but it's already been acquired, and we're not going to see the paint color, the change, and everything.
Okay.
So, you know, if you see it, just remember, that's where BenQuip can be. Right?
And for the Belize City Bike Rally, that's where we'll be starting off and we'll be finishing off, because customers will be going there to get their free oil change done as well.
Okay.
Right. And to touch on the Belize City Bike Rally, Shane, that is the following Saturday.
That's the 10th of February.
The 10th of February, right? So same deal, bring out your Honda, bring out any motorcycle, and just come enjoy on our friends and talk about your experiences, right? And you have your free shirt, your free oil change, and some refreshments to go along with that, and a good time, right? So be sure to come out and enjoy the Love Your Honda season with Benny's and BenQuip, and nothing but love.
These guys are made for advertising.
Yeah, like guys, this come out
we're passionate about our brand. We're very passionate about everything.
This is way too natural. I would believe that you both have Hondas as well.
Not as yet, but I'll get there. Not as yet, but I'll get there.
But gentlemen, this is great. I'll use this opportunity to ask if there's anything else that you feel necessary to share with our viewers, both Honda users and also persons that are thinking of making that investment.
Yeah, sure. So there's this one thing that we've been talking about for the past year or change, and it's B-Bucks, right? And B-Bucks is Benny's rewards program, right? So not only will we give you 24% off on these Honda products, but also you will gain B-Bucks and you'll earn rewards and free money on your purchase when you purchase these items at BenQuip or Benny's. So not only you're getting the discount, but you get more money for free on top, right?
And you can use B-Bucks for any of the Benny's entities.
Correct. So if you want to go to B-Mart, which is our grocery store.
I use B-Bucks there.
Yes. Well, there you go. And then you could use it at Benny's. You could use it at Best Manufacturing to buy your roofing and plastic materials. BenQuip. So there's limitless options on how to use these rewards, and there's limitless options on how you can gain rewards.
So all that's needed for B-Bucks is simply come in, sign up for a free account. We create the account where you get your B-Bucks instantly after you make a purchase.
Wonderful. Gentlemen, it's awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Remind us again of the date and the time for the bike rally.
So the bike rally in Blue Creek starts at 9 a.m. We'll be moving through Blue Creek, going all the way towards Caribbean Chicken, and then coming right back. We start at RB's Multi-Service, and we finish at RB's Multi-Service.
And that's next week, Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
3rd.
Yes.
This Saturday. So if you want to sign up, check our Facebook page and follow the link, and then you'll be able to sign up. And also, the same link will be available for the Belize City ride, which will be the following Saturday.
Which will be the 10th of, the 10th of February at the new BenQuip location.
For anyone who decides at the spur of the moment on Saturday morning that they want to participate in the Blue
They're
Creek
welcome
rally,
to join as well.
Okay. Perfectly fine.
All right. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having
guys
us.
Definitely are great at what you do.
We love what we do.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
All right, we are going to take our final break, and when we come back, we wrap things up. Don't go away.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank contactless MasterCard debit card. Introducing our standard debit and MasterCard Platinum debit cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank. 13 835,700 eggs are eaten by tourists each year, fueling our thriving economy. Tourism means business.
And today we're here shopping at B-Mart. Today we're making the green super smoothie. Let's get after it.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected. Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome back and thanks for sticking with us. It is a chilly Wednesday morning, Isani, and we had 3 great conversations this morning. Of course, starting things off with how to care for your skin. Is there any new information that you learned this morning as it relates to skincare?
I learned a lot actually, considering the fact that some of the things that I grew up learning aren't necessarily what they are today in terms of the science behind skincare and dermatology. And so having Dr. Lopez on the set with us this morning was in fact the real eye-opener.
That's true.
Because a lot of what I thought were perhaps the appropriate things to do where skincare is concerned is not necessarily so.
Yeah.
I grew up learning, and people kept saying this, you know, drink a lot of water because it helps to clean your skin, right? And then Doc comes on and says, okay, well, yes, that works for the entire body, but you need to be able to moisturize your skin directly.
Water does not moisturize your skin.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I'm certain it serves a role or a function, right? But, you know, it reminds me of why, you know, having lotion around is important, right?
Yeah.
Especially for persons of my skin type or of my, you know, my color.
Yeah.
You always have to have something to moisturize the skin.
What stood out to me was the washcloth and loofah comment. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mind blown. I don't know how to receive that information. That is something that you grow up using. You've grown up using. So for me, it'll be really hard to try to make that adjustment, knowing that the loofahs and the washcloth doesn't really help your skin, and instead it takes off that layer. That for me was hard to receive that information because I kind of look at the loofahs as kind of like an exfoliation as well.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm doing something good for my skin.
This is what I can't readily come to grips with.
Yeah.
If I have naturally oily skin, my face, and doc is recommending that I don't wash my face for a couple of days, how do I do that?
Yeah.
Because it's instinctive that, that when you're taking a bath or when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is wash your face, right?
Yeah.
So how do I tell myself, okay, you know what? I'll leave it alone for 3 days or so.
Well, what he did say was, he didn't say that you shouldn't put water on your face.
Yes.
It's to not use cleansers or soap.
Yes.
So
but
you
I'm saying-
can wash it with water, but not those chemicals and stuff like that you'd normally use.
When you wake up in the morning, you take it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is instinctive that's what you do. So you're not thinking, okay, I'll just use water. You know, you lather up and you do what you got to do. And that's what I'm saying is it's hard for me to not see that if I were to take his suggestion.
Well, I mean, I know that there is a lot of really interesting information that he shared. I'd tell you definitely try it out and see how it works. You know, we might just see that you're not so oily in the next month. Next month you're not as oily. So
I have a natural glow. Let's just say that.
You know what? I like that. That's one way. That's looking on the bright side, Isani. But in our second conversation, it was about celebrating World Wetlands Day. And we had some folks here with us talking about why we should be recognizing the importance of wetlands to Belize. Of course, there are many reasons why wetlands are important. For me, one of the new informations, or I'd say something that I didn't consider, was the cultural aspect of wetlands in Belize. And I think it's really important that we're able to share this information with a younger population, because that is how the news spreads, of course, to their adult parents or adults around them. But that's also how you build a generation to think differently in appreciating conservation here in Belize as well. So I enjoyed that conversation.
The fact that, you know, activities are being held across the country by the Forest Department and, of course, the Sustainable Future Fund. When we talk about Crooked Tree, the Gragra Lagoon, and down south, and bringing out the kids to actually experience it. I think for anyone who's in primary school who hasn't been to either of these locations, it will be quite an exciting time for them.
Yeah. And finally, we were able to learn how to love your Honda if you have one. And if you don't have one, maybe that segment just moments ago gave you a little bit of a push to make that investment. We had the folks from Benny's here in Benquip to talk to us about their annual activity of loving your Honda and their bike rally that takes place. This year it will also be taking place over in Blue Creek in Orange Walk. And that is this Saturday. And next week, Saturday, it will take place here in Belize City. They also have a new location. They are moving to where the tire depot was once located. So you'll be seeing a bit of a change on that building in the near future. So we're certainly happy to have had them here with us on set, talking to us about loving your Honda. And if you're interested in making that switch, definitely check out Benny's and Benquip. But that about wraps up the show, Isani. It was a great Wednesday morning. It is January 31st. Isani, we can finally say it's over. We're at the end of January. This was an entire year.
Longest month of the year.
The longest month of the year. But yes, it is January 31st. And if you are celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. But if you'd like to give a birthday shout out, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com. You can also catch us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, as well as Instagram at OYEBelize. Thanks so much for joining us, and please join us again tomorrow as you open your eyes
to start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.